Shut up and sit down.
Hit a roll.
Shut up and sit down.
Is he away with the premiership? Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside. Richards pursued. He pushes Jensen away. Pat Richards has scored.
G'day there, everybody. Welcome to the Cat Bros, brought to you by our sponsor, Billy Army Kickouts Knock On the weekend. Hello, everybody. Special treat for you guys today. You get to see our beautiful faces. So we'll see how long that lasts, because we both lost on the weekend and we may cry a little. So that's why we put the cameras up.
I may or may not have been crying plenty already, as you guys are most likely aware, having seen my rants in the Discord over the weekend, especially while the Tigers may or may not have been getting beaten by Manly.
At least it wasn't like last year where it was an absolute thumping. They actually made a game of it. G'day, Ash. How are ya?
Hey, Ash. Welcome back to the chat.
Yes. Welcome. Anyway, that was fun. Good night, everybody.
Good stream. See you next week.
It was good. It was pretty nice and smooth. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. No, so tonight we're actually going to something I didn't really want to talk about. Well, didn't think we'd be talking about. We'll address the sin bins scenario that's happening, the drama, the chaos. Everyone's got some nice suggestions to fix it because apparently it's breaking the game, I guess. But we'll give it a minute. How do you feel after the weekend? And how did your tips go while we're at it, since you're our tipping expert? How did that go? That face. Oh, look at your face.
Yeah, not great. I got 5.
So that's actually not that bad. I mean, 5 out of 8. That's only 3 drop. Which 3 did you drop?
The first 3. Yeah, I was
interesting.
0-3 after Friday's games.
Well, I'm sorry. We had to drop one eventually. It was just foregone conclusion.
Well, I did better than last week. I only got 2 last week. I mean, in 2 in round 8, 5 in round 9, so I've slipped a bit after my perfect round a little earlier in the season, but I got a perfect round in Magic Round last year, so I'm hopeful I can do the same this year.
Yeah, Tigers
that Magic Round perfect was what kickstarted my season in that tipping comp. So
yeah, you Tigers have a thing about Magic Round. You tend to perform.
what 32 to 4, I think it was.
I thought it was 34-0.
No, you guys scored 1 try.
Woo!
It was 28 to 4, maybe. I think.
I don't know, but
I don't remember.
Look, it was
We
more.
beat you, that was what mattered.
Yeah, and it was by more than I was comfortable with too. Was it? I think it was Fui Mayano, or how you pronounce his name. I apologize. Yeah, it was 30 to 4. There you go, Ash. Ash in chat had us covered 30 to 4. They stuck him at center or something, and they just ran around him all game. Just literally just run around him. You're like, what are you doing? And then they moved him.
We did most of that running around you guys in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's because
kind of eased off.
He
after
put
that.
a second rower who was no good at center, and then so you guys ran around him, and then Ivan was like, you know what, maybe I should move that guy. Oh, and look, what a coincidence! They stopped running around because he was terrible there. So there you go, lesson learned. Hey, Justin. Top 8 boy right there. Our Broncos man in the chat. Come on, you must be pretty pumped. Like, that was a hell of a game. I think that's probably the best game the Broncos have played in, a couple of years. Did you see it, Aaron?
I did. I saw most of it. I wasn't paying too much attention to it because I was live at the time.
Because the Broncos are a powerhouse and we're obviously going to win anyway, so you weren't worried?
I tipped the Rabbits. I did just mention I was 0-3 after Friday's games.
I was trying to make it sound good for Justin in the chat. Oh,
I mean, nothing can make the Rabbits sound good at the moment. Hey, I think they're a genuine chance of missing the top 8 this year.
Neil, did you see? I just saw the notifications before Fox were putting up. Apparently, they've got Nicarima now at the Bunnies. He's gone across.
They signed him today, I believe, or yesterday or something.
Yeah, so the photos are up now today. Not long before we came on here, I saw the notifications up there, and so he must have been training there today. So I wonder if that'll make a difference.
I mean, it might. They'll have Latrell back after the bye as well, and that'll be a big in for them if he can stay on the field.
Well, my question is, what does he bring that they don't already have? Like, he can't. He's not going to play at hooker, obviously, because you've got a representative hooker in Cook, and so is he going to take over at half from Ilias?
I think he just goes back into fullback and Taft to the reserves or whatever.
Makes sense.
Maybe.
I mean, especially when
he's a better centre than a fullback though, but he's not going to be put in centre.
Well, no. Nick Reamer 14, bringing on lock maybe. Well, I mean, you could do that. I mean, the ball playing locks now. You're the in thing that everyone's doing, unless you're the Tigers. But I'm kind of hoping when Dewey comes back, they get him to do it. Now that I've seen them, I was thinking Hastings would do it, but I think it definitely should be Dewey. I think he's bigger. Just looking at them, I haven't looked at their stats, but I think that'll work.
I think they'll just put him back in the centres. I mean, he's tried and true there, so I think that works.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think they'll rock the boat too much in that regard.
I mean, I guess, considering, like, you've got no outside backs left.
I have a feeling he'll defend as a centre, but in attack, he'll have a bit more of a license to roam around similar to a fullback and play off the back of Jacko and Brooksy.
The Tom Turbo in Origin option.
Essentially, yeah.
That's my only sort of doubt about it is you're removing him from the game a bit. Because he is that ball player. I mean, he debuted as a fullback. Dolphins have signed Robert Jennings for 2023, Justin says in the chat. Yeah, I feel sorry for them. I don't know how he's going to reserve grade, but last year when he played, like, he was worse than Staines when Staines was at his worst.
And I mean, you've said it on Twitter that the Dolphins are on struggle street. So
yeah, that's what I said, that because, and it's not their fault. The big talking point for them is the fact that they've come in and they were expected to just straight off the bat. I think they had like 2 weeks or something to start between when they came in and when they could start like negotiating with everybody, and all the good players were sort of off contract. There was just no time. They needed the extra year. So either bring them in a year earlier, or so if you wanted them into 2023, so bring them in 2021 and give them the extra year to plan and prepare, or bring them in 2024. But they got kind of thrown under the bus a little bit, I think. Everyone's starting to feel.
Yeah, only being able to sign players who are in the final year of their contract is a big obstacle for a team that's trying to enter the comp.
Yeah, it's a big
also,
ask.
Hello, Ash. Not Ash. We've already said hello, Ash. Hello, NSL.
Congrats, National Sports Loaded, breaking our 3 million home game winning streak.
Congratulations.
And hurting my feelings on a deep personal level. Not really. He said 4 on going to the Titans. Yeah, that's interesting. I think they need the experience, Ted. Their main problem is their inexperience in the spine. You know, you got players like David Fafita, where every single game, I'm sick to death of hearing it, is, why isn't Fafita getting the ball? Why isn't Fafita getting the ball? It's because you've got inexperienced halves doing the best they can and still learning their trade. Foreign will just go there, he'll mentor them, do his thing, teach them how to organise and attack, and they'll be better for it. Kind of like Maloney did that with us. That's why Cleary became as good as he did, because he played with Wallace and then Maloney. So he had actually, really good, experienced halves to learn from. So, yeah. So, congrats on that. And yeah, you probably missed it, but I mentioned Kikau's drop ball. I thought that was a bit straight. I wasn't outraged by it. I was just shocked. Does that make sense? Like,
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those things where you can't believe it happened. I still kind of can't believe it happened, because you've got 2 touch judges, a referee, a bunker. Well, the bunker can't rule on it, so the bunker would have seen it, and he has to sit on his hands just by the way the rules are, because the bunker's only supposed to be able to rule on reportable offences, because everyone, they want to keep them out of it for whatever reason. But still, you got 3 officials all looking at it, and I'm actually kind of surprised the Eels team didn't just stop then and there. Did you think about it? If Penrith go on to score, and they check the try, because the bunker checks every try now, it would have been called back. So just, if the other team knocks on like that, just stop moving. Let the team score, especially something that obvious. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's going to be one of those ones we all are wondering. It'll be at the end of the year, we're in the off-season, we're like, hey, you remember that thing? And they're like, yeah, that's so weird.
I mean, we saw that on Friday night with the Dogs as well, because Addo Carr ran 90 plus meters to score a try that got taken off him because of a knock-on, when he technically didn't knock it on, because the ball hit his foot before it hit the ground. He managed to kick it and continued to race away to score that try.
Yeah.
But because it took him like 10 seconds-ish more than 10 seconds before he noticed it had been called back, he had run out of time to challenge.
Yeah. NSL said, well, just before we move too far on, was saying this loss should tell the club on what they need to work on, their attack, etc., etc. So yeah, I'm not that upset about the loss, honestly. I mean, when you win as much as we do, one loss isn't going to hurt anyway because we're so amazing.
You're number 2 now.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're the first of the rest of the losers. The Storm are, we have to accept our new Storm overlords.
Well, thankfully we didn't get mauled by them this year.
Yeah, but I think that's why last year we won the comp compared to 2020, because they didn't go on this big run into the grand final, just thinking everything was great. Like, a loss here and there brings you back down to earth and reminds you of the things you need to work on.
How many losses did you finish with last year? Was it 3?
Yeah, there was a couple. I don't remember the exact number now. There was a few in there. We lost back to back. You then Sharks around Origin, and then week 1 of the finals. So they're probably the 3 we lost. I don't know if there's any more.
I'm thinking regular season. I think you did lose another regular season game. You lost a regular season game to the Storm as well.
That's right.
Up at Suncorp. I think it was just the 3. I'm going to check though because I am curious.
Yeah, have a look and let us know. Look it up.
Because you went on a 12-game winning run that we ended in round 13 in the Origin round. So yeah, we beat you in round 13. The Sharks beat you round 14. The Storm beat you round 20. Yeah, that was it. So you lost 3.
Yep. 3 and then the first finals game, so.
Yep. But then you fixed your shit up and won the comp.
Yeah, and I think that's what losses do. They refocus things. Like, you look at Luai, for example, he'll now hopefully stop being a little so-and-so. I'll keep it PG because I was really angry. I was so angry when I saw that. Hey, Liam, how you doing? He's now jumped into chat because his Cowboys are absolutely curb stomping everybody and looking really good. So congrats to them. Really enjoying them. I'll probably go back and watch.
Storm only lost 3 as well last year, I think, if I counted correctly.
Yeah, they've been up there with us. They've gone toe-to-toe with us the last 2 years. Oh, Ash is back. I didn't know he went, but he's back.
Hey, Liam, welcome. You versus me this weekend. Looking forward to it.
That's going to be an interesting game because I think the Cowboys are actually I know Manly are good and all, but I think the Cowboys are playing better than them at the moment. They look smoother, if that makes sense, which is probably just the injury thing with Manly where they're getting their combinations right, maybe. And Turbo's only just come back. The Cowboys look really smooth, really nice. Their forward pack is especially playing really well. Oh, Ash might have to go. Hang on, guys. Hang on, everybody.
Unfortunately for all you viewers out there in viewing land, you'll have to wait until Thursday to get my tips for the round. Mwahahaha.
Yes, that's the other thing. I guess we might as well announce it now. So we're going to do our Monday stream talking about just the general news and chat. And then Thursday we'll have a pre-recorded video uploaded where you'll get Aaron's expert tips.
Ryan should give us some tips as well.
I'll probably look at something and maybe do a bit of analytical stuff with the game itself. The NRL generally, that's where my strength lies a bit better. I'm not so good with the tipping.
If you can't find anything for a certain week, maybe what the keys are for both games the Tigers and Panthers play in.
Yeah.
So like key players to watch, key aspects of the game, stuff like that.
Yeah, but we'll work that out behind the scenes and see how we go.
We can do a bit more of a review of the round of the games on Mondays, though, because they're a lot fresher in our memories.
Yeah. So keep an eye out on Thursdays as well. Liam says, Tigers vs Cowboys is a rivalry for me, but they always seem to lose to the Tigers when they should win. Well, it was interesting. They had a really terrible record at Leichhardt, and then there was that game. It was last year, and then they made the Tigers look silly at Leichhardt. So,
well, they made us look silly in the first half. We brought it back in the second half and lost narrowly.
Yeah, so it is an interesting little one there. I think we all remember the one that they shove at us constantly with the flick pass. I think it gets forgotten. There is actually a pretty decent history between the two clubs, which I'd love to see them pump that up a bit more.
I've just pulled up the head-to-head rivalry. So we've played 40 matches against each other. The Tigers have 23 wins to the Cowboys 17. So I think the Cowboys are actually one of the 3 clubs that we have winning records against.
Yeah, because there's some silly record like Jonathan Thurston hasn't won a game at Leichhardt or something.
He never won a game at Leichhardt.
I thought
He's retired now, and he never won a game at Leichhardt. So
this is one of the best players to ever play the game, and he's never won a game. That's a ridiculous record.
There was a during the season opening day, like a few years ago. I think it might have been his last year or something. One of the questions was asked of the captains, which is your least favourite ground to play at? And JT said Leichhardt, because he's never won there. And the fans absolutely rip into him.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I think we've all seen the footage that was posted by NRL on 9 on their various channels a few years back of the toothless Tigers fan calling him Thurston and sledging him extreme.
That still gets memed every now and again where someone will be like, hey,
quality
Thurston.
content. Hey, Thurston.
When football content was good. So, might as well, now that we've got a few, we'll get into the top main topic of this weekend. So we're going to discuss the sin bin and send-off drama from the weekend. We've actually had 3 this year, which is good fun. And now, since this one, we're starting to have calls of... So a player gets sin-binned for literally decapitating a player from the other team. And then the idea is they're gone for the game permanently, but after 10 minutes, the team can replace that player. Your thoughts?
Not a fan. I think you do the crime, your team suffers, because you've essentially disadvantaged the other team by potentially removing their player from the rest of that game and other games moving forward. So your team well and truly deserves an equally severe punishment, losing a player for the rest of the game. If you don't want to be, like you said before we went live, if you don't want to disadvantage your team, then don't be a dumb shit. Don't do dumb shit. Don't try and decapitate a player.
Yeah.
Tackle them legally. That's why there are legal tackles. There are legal ways to tackle people. You don't have to knock a guy's block off, literally.
Exactly. I will just go and find it. We've actually got someone on Reddit, Cretaceous Clock, posted on Reddit the 3 send-offs from this year. So I'll see if I can pull it up for us. You can hear the audio there, probably. Because things automatically play, which is fun. But I'll pull it up. So
Justin has also sent us the video of that Tigers fan sledging first and sledging JT under the Leichhardt Oval scoreboard in the Discord if you wanted to play that for the people as well.
The problem is I can't go and access Discord while we're doing this because we're actually using Discord video call. So sorry, guys. But what I can do is...
Justin, send it to us on Twitter. We might be able to access it from there.
Yes. What I will do is pull up the sin bins for everybody. just to make sure. But yes, I completely agree. If you don't want to impact your team and you don't want to ruin the product, as the issue with a lot of the commentaries, especially media people, seem to be big on this one. I haven't seen fans mention it, but a lot of the commentators do this thing where they'll be like, oh, you don't want to ruin the product. I mean, come on, we've got to provide for the fans, right? And content, etc., whatever. So I'll just play it here in the background. We've got the three of them, and I don't agree with that. If you don't want to do that, don't commit the foul play. I said as much on Twitter, as well as you say, we were talking about it a bit before the stream. If you don't want to impact these things,
you don't want to do the time.
Yeah, and normally a sin bin is something very severe. Like when you watch these clips, you can see it here. They're not little things like this one here where he just walks up, just elbows him, bam, straight in the jaw.
Off the ball and everything too.
Yeah, as if you don't deserve to lose a player for that. It's a team sport. You win and lose based on what everyone in the team does as an individual. And then this one, I can understand it's a tackle gone wrong and you don't mean to do it, but he'll be more careful next time, won't he?
Yeah, all three of the incidents that we've now seen this year that have been send-offs absolutely bloody deserved it.
Yeah, they're all extremely dangerous. Like, this was just... Holy crap, that was nuts when I first saw the clip, because I haven't actually watched this whole game yet. It's the one game...
You were at work that day, weren't you?
Yeah, so I missed the games. I caught up the Storm game this morning, and then I still haven't caught up the next one yet. That's the last one I haven't caught up yet because I had to take the wife out to get her hair done for her Mother's Day gift. But yeah, I saw the clip of that and my jaw dropped. I was like, holy crap. That the last time I saw something that spectacular looking, I think was the Chad Townsend one. Funny enough, while he was still at the Sharks, and where he was like absolutely destroyed Kalen Ponga, if you remember. I don't know if you remember it. Does anyone remember it? He took like a 20-minute tap. The referees called it back.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he absolutely throttled him. And it's like, holy crap.
Yeah, he absolutely poleaxes him.
Yeah, he jumps and shoulder charges straight into him. And you're like, wow, what were you doing? What were you thinking? Because even if the ref hadn't called it off, it's like, what were you planning? You just shoulder charge, a flying shoulder charge of all things. So no, I think like everything they've called send-offs are very dangerous to the player being tackled or whatever it might be. Or in Barnett's case, who even knows what the hell he was trying to do? I know it's a naughty word. But yeah.
So I agree with you, Liam. The inconsistency of calls.
Well, yeah, look at Manu.
Has been problematic as well.
Right, we've got Manu as an example.
Yeah, how did he not get not even a sin bin, let alone a send off for that shot on Ravalawa on Anzac Day?
Yeah, it makes sense if he got 10 minutes compared to the send-offs or whatever. They thought, oh, maybe it's a little bit better, even though I don't think it is. I thought his was actually worse because his wasn't reactionary like the Sharks one we just saw, where play gets wrong-footed, desperate dive, makes a meal of it. Still a send-off, but at least it's all really in the moment and spontaneous. Manu's one, he had like 30 meters where Ravalawa had made a break. Was charging at him and to line him up and make the tackle. Like, that's worse because you've got more time to mentally prepare for the hit.
Yep. And then we had an incident in our game against the Sharks as well, where one of our players copped a shoulder to the face as well. I think it might have been Kelmer, because I'm pretty sure he went off for a HIA afterwards. The player who did it wasn't even put on report, let alone binned or sent off. And we saw one that was similar on the weekend, where the player did get binned.
Yeah, I'll just look it up now.
I think that was the sin bin in the Sharks game.
Was it Tupou or Manu? Oh, now you're making me doubt myself.
I think it was Manu.
All right. Yeah, I'm just looking up the game because and National Sports Loaded
play-by-play as well
asked about the other match, the Townsend one, 2020. I don't remember the exact round it was, but yeah, they were playing at Newcastle.
Yeah, I remember that part.
So,
yeah, penalty, dangerous tackle, Daniel Tupou in the 54th minute.
Why did we think it was Manu?
I don't know.
That is so weird.
Are they on the same side of the field?
Yeah, maybe. I don't. That's so strange. But I do have the clip of.
So set 10 metres away.
Boom! How do you like them apples? Right, this is the Chad Townsend one.
Like the whistle had been blown as well for Ponga to take it back.
The referee called it off, and he still absolutely collected him.
Chatty boy just went on with it. How far into the game was that? I think that was some point in the second half.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That was just a little clip on the ABC website with it. They accompanied their article on the tackle.
It was in 2020, wasn't it? I think it was. Yeah. Round 17, Friday the 4th of September.
Yeah, it was in
2020. Play-by-play. Here we go. Where are we? Scrolling through the play-by-play. Jeez, it happened earlier in the game than I thought it did.
Yes. And while he's doing
the
that,
53rd minute.
There you go. So it's still second half. You were close.
And the score at the time was Knights 22-4. So, yeah, kind of a desperate attempt by Chatty Boy, but completely unnecessary.
Yeah, that's what I was saying is what... we all just saw that again. I mean, what was he trying to do exactly? Even if Ponga didn't get called back, that was always just going to be an absolute mess of a tackle.
I'm going to say it because I can't help myself now, and it's funny. But in the immortal words of Australia's very own Aussie man, Ponga got absolutely shit mixed.
It's credit to him. I'm pretty sure he got up after that too, which he's tough as nails with that one. I'd still be in bed like now after a hit like that.
Yeah, nearly 2 years later.
Yeah, I've been just recovering, just getting there now.
Also, don't mind me. Just then, I had to grab my laptop charger.
That's alright. Live TV can't be any worse than NRL 360's probably the arse Kenty's going off. If you saw some of those tweets after that drama.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't typically watch episodes after we lose because I'm almost like, oh, they're just going to talk shit about the Tigers. There's no point.
Yeah.
So, but
they won't address it. But
some drama.
Yeah, they won't address it. But a lot of the Ask Kenty stuff popping up on Twitter is talking about the radio drama on Triple M where him and Hooper were bullying Maroon, who, by all accounts, I don't really listen to the radio much. I like watching on TV, but I've listened to a couple of calls here and there on the radio if I'm like driving home from work or whatever with working weekends. But from what people have said who do listen a lot, he's quite good. So it sucks to hear he's getting bullied and whatnot. I listened to the clips that were posted and they're pretty bad, even among friends and banter. it went way too far. Like, generally, you kind of know, right? Like, if someone says, right, you're going too far with something, most reasonable people are like, yeah, okay, maybe I'm touching a nerve, especially if you're saying the same joke over and over again. Eventually it wears thin. So, yeah, it's a bit... but they won't address it, even though I think 90% of the Ask Kenty questions are going to be, hey, how about that? They'll ignore it. Because they acted like an absolute pack of cunts. And I'll say, like, it's... Especially Hooper. Especially really Hooper, bad. Where they said, oh, the more you complain about it, the funnier it is. It's like, or maybe you could just not bully someone who's your co-worker and...
I mean, that'd be the easier thing to do, right?
Yeah, like, make your jokes and have banter and stuff, but read the room as well. You know? Like, there's so many things you could probably play on as friends. You don't need to just keep hammering someone over it. Ash says Dragons want Munster, and Justin says surely he doesn't sign with the Dragons. It depends what he wants. I mean, maybe he's had the success he wants and now he just wants to get what money he can. I don't know.
I imagine the Dolphins would be after Munster as well.
Well, I mean, they'd be after anyone they can get their hands on at this point, the poor buggers. But, yeah, depends where he wants to go. I mean, you look at Gronk, for all the talk of him going to the Roosters, the whole reason he went to Sydney was because to be with, his wife. So she could further her career. So there's different factors that play into it when Josh Adokar went to the Bulldogs because, he wanted to be up here with his family. So Queensland might be just not particularly an option. I don't know.
So I've just pulled up Fox League's post saying, don't forget to write your questions below for Kenty and he may just answer them on tonight's show. Para Eels Facts said, what's it like driving Hooper around now that he's lost his driver in Maroon? When can we expect your apology to him? Andrew Macca, I've got a tight hamstring. Any stretches and can you show them on the show tonight? Thanks. Sean 76. Hey mate, what are your thoughts on workplace bullying? What education programs do we need to stop this? What punishment do you think should be in place? James Hooper, can I get a lift home from the studios? But that's not the official. Account. That's not the official James Hooper.
No, it's a parody account. But I read a couple of that. That was kind of funny. They do a good job. I like that one.
Journalist agendas. Why should Maroon have to resign when you and Hooper are the ones doing the bullying? Why are you a protected species? And when are you and Hooper going to resign for your parts? You are happy
especially
to push
Hooper.
For punishment to NRL players, but you don't live by the same rules.
Yeah, especially Hooper. He's absolutely like trash tier journalism, and then you hear him doing the sideline reporting and interviewing players and coaches, and you're like, just a week ago you were saying how this person was absolutely garbage and he should be sacked, and then half a week later when the game's on, you're interviewing them and pretending like nothing ever happened. It's the weirdest thing ever. But yes, is there anything else we need to really specifically discuss? I think we've probably... I don't want to get too much into that, honestly.
Yeah, it's not a great topic to talk about. We've what were your thoughts on the sin bin in our game? So Stefano being suspended.
It's tough on him.
Not suspended, sin binned.
It's tough on him personally, but it made sense why it happened because there were multiple infringements and there were multiple in the same play too, which is what did him in. I think they were offside from the scrum and then he infringed in the ruck, and the ref was like, "No, I've had enough."
He had only just come on the field, though, was my issue.
Yeah.
And so I know a warning was given.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard it at the time, though, so that part frustrated me.
Yeah. So,
but the fact that he had literally just been on the field, probably wasn't aware that the warning had been given because he wasn't on the field when it happened.
But the way to think of it is when the ref gives a warning like that, he's giving a warning to the team, not to the player. So
no, I know he's giving a warning to the team, but that particular player on the team hadn't received the warning. because he wasn't on the field when the warning was given.
Yeah, and that's why I said straight up, I said it's harsh on him personally, but it was, it's the way it went. Like, anyone would have happened. It sucks, but it makes sense, and I don't have a specific issue with it. Obviously, you as a Tigers fan probably are a bit more like, what the hell, but
Just a bit.
it made perfect sense to me. But like I said, it sucked for him because, like you said, he'd only been on there a couple minutes, and
Not even a couple minutes, I don't think. I think
he just got subbed on and then went straight off. Like, he was probably subbed on. Yeah, have a look. I'm pretty sure he was subbed on around, because it was straight off the back of a scrum, and I'm pretty sure he was subbed on around the time of that scrum sometime. But so yeah, as unfair as it is on him, the sin bin was warranted. The team was warned. Tough luck. The thing that I do think was tough, and I was really angry about on the day, even as a neutral, was Tom Trbojevic, who is allowed to do whatever the hell he wants. I'm going to go and find the clip. Let's see if I can find it. I might be able to find it.
Okay. Stefano was subbed on at 30 minutes and 53 seconds. He went in the bin less than a minute and a half later.
Yeah.
At 32 minutes and 21 seconds.
Yep. So I will show this.
So it was Peachy who was
It's a bit unclear.
The one who was pinged for the inside the 10. And then Stefano 3 seconds later with the slow peel.
Yeah. Trying to see if I can find the clip of Turbo's thing. There's an actual video clip of it. I can't see. I've only got a slightly low quality still frame of it. It's not the best, unfortunately. I apologize, but it's what we've got.
That's on our agenda, Ash. We will get to that one shortly.
Yes, we'll get to that. Unfortunately, this is the best I can get at short notice. I didn't know we were going to particularly touch on it, but Mr. Trbojevic grabs... Was it Toa? Can't see him clearly Toa, in that picture, yeah. Like, goes absolute mad lad on the Manly team and nearly basically just creates his own try, but gets pulled.
That was a bloody good run.
Yeah, it was so much fun to watch. I'm like, oh, look at him go. It was good. Just a bit of creativity and just spontaneous spark happening. And yeah, it didn't impact the play too much, but that is a sin bin all day, every day.
You know what pissed me off the most about it afterwards?
What's that?
There was someone who had posted on Twitter, and Vossi himself had replied to it, basically saying Toa wasn't affected.
It was your mates over at the Westlife podcast, who, by the way, I quite enjoy. So I don't like shouting us out, but they forgot last time when you were on. But they do a good job.
I didn't have time to bring it up with Josh before we started. That was kind of on me, but
yeah. Well, look, them over there with their professionalism, they probably don't have time for us little fellas over here. No, but in all seriousness, it was him that tweeted, and then Bossy responded like, "Oh, he wasn't affected," which, you'll probably agree with this, but I think that I don't care. You don't do it. Why is that's a black and white rule? Like, whether he's affected or not, he was trying to affect him. Like, the intent was there. But yeah, we're the Tigers fans, so you tell us.
Professional foul.
Yes, it was.
It was a professional foul. My issue with it was, in the commentary, he had... Oh, there's a spider on my wall. Anyway.
Yes, he counts as a view, by the way.
In the commentary during the game, when our first try was overruled by the bunker, that was because of a black and white rule about the obstruction and the lead runner and shit like that. No one was in any way obstructed. However, they still took it off us. We then saw worse in a couple of games later with the Cowboys in their first try. But the fact of the matter was the Tigers had that one overturned because of a black and white rule. This also is a black and white situation. Just like how no Eagles players were affected or obstructed, but we still had the try overturned. This should be the exact same. Maybe Toa wasn't affected by the jersey pull, but it's still a blatant attempted professional foul, and that deserves 10 in the bin, and quite possibly a penalty try.
Yeah, I pretty much agree completely with that. Because I'm a big fan of black and white rules, so I'm happy if they call that a no try obstruction, because when you see it in live play, I like being able to know, oh, if I see that happen, I know the call is coming, so I'm not surprised when I'm watching the game. So it makes sense in my mind, like, oh, that's going to be called back for an obstruction soon. And then they do, okay, sweet. But I have the same issue you had, where it's like, why are we applying black and white rules in one spot, but then not for another? Why does the fullback for one team get it and not the other? Sort of thing. Like, if that was the same, I reckon if you have the same thing happen the other way around, it gets called. If Toa grabs Trebojevic's jersey like that, I reckon it gets called.
Oh, absolutely. You just have to bear with me. There's going to be a bit of a loud bang. I'm going to murder this spider.
I can see Fox's
quality content right here.
Yeah, I can see what we're missing it. We can at least see it on camera. But
you want to see the spider?
Yeah, actually, is it big? Is it big? Are you gonna
it's big-ish.
Trigger warning, chat. Spider incoming.
Let me know if you can see it. He's
yeah. Oh, he's just a little guy in there. He's just doing his thing.
He's crawling up my wall. He's about to die. Say goodbye. Say farewell.
We who are about to die salute you. And this will be the next Tigers article this week. Tigers fans in a fit of rage after losing to Manly.
Murdering innocent spiders.
See, they'll leave that out. Tigers fans on a murderous rampage after loss to Manly.
I mean, can you blame us when the Trebojeviches are a protected species?
Yeah. So the funny thing is, I hate the ref bashing stuff. Like, in the heat of the moment, I like a good, like, oh, what, the ref is blind stuff, you know. But during the week, when calmer heads prevail, I can't stand the ref bashing, and I'll quite often, Aaron could probably back this up, where I'll quite often disagree with blaming refs for losing and things.
Yeah.
I am within an inch of saying that the ref cost that game. Not quite. I won't quite get there, but that game was probably one of the worst I've seen officiated in a very long time.
Well, let's just look at it from the try scored perspective, the times we crossed the line perspective for the moment. So, Manly scored 7 tries out of the 7 times they crossed the line. We scored 4 tries out of the 7 times we crossed the line. There was that first one that was overturned, which was the obstruction. There was the second one that was overturned, that was Peachy losing control of it, which I still think is an absolute load of bullshit. And then there was, which would have been 2 tries in 2 sets in like 2 or 3 minutes apart.
Somebody tell me as well,
given us some momentum.
Since we're mentioning that Peachy try, why he didn't pass that. He had an absolute unmarked player with no one within 50,000 meters of him, all he had to do was just land a pass on his chest, and that's a try. No questions. Wanted
the glory, I guess.
Yeah, like we're not even talking about. Yeah, we're not even talking about a maybe, maybe not knock on, whatever. All he had to do was pass the ball. Done. That just really annoyed me at the time. But yeah. So that's where we're at. I genuinely am very, very close to saying that game you guys were ripped off.
Do you think he lost control of the ball?
I think it's one of those ones where if it gets sent up as no try, it should be supported, and if it gets sent up as a try, it should be supported. If that makes sense. It was very touch and go. I didn't think it was a really obvious drop. It looked like
I couldn't see any separation. That's my thing. They talk about separation.
It looked like it might have moved a little bit or something, and maybe they're like, "Oh, that's him dropping it, and it's caught the other player's arm, whatever." But I thought it was one of those ones where you'd be like, "It's close enough to inconclusive where you support the ref's call, basically." And with the way the system worked with the bunker, I reckon, yeah, the ref's call should be supported. I'm pretty sure he sent it up as a try.
It was a try. It was just awarded as a try.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because they don't send it up as a try now. They just award the try and then they look at it. So that's the equivalent of in the old system where they would send it up as, "Oh, I've got a try. Can you look at it?" and then overturn it or not. So, yeah, I thought they should have just supported the ref's decision on that one.
And then there was the other time we crossed the line as well, which was the one that didn't even go up as a try or a no try. It just play stopped because of a forward pass. But I personally don't think the pass went forward. And then Manly's try after that down the other end of the field looked to me like it was off a forward pass.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just the one-eyed tiger in me. But the forward pass that they scored with in the opposite corner looked far worse than the one that was taken off of, I think it was Kelmer.
Yeah. I don't know, but...
Then we also had that situation where I reckon Toa absolutely could have scored a try if he wasn't held back by Turbo, which would have potentially made the try count 7 Manly, 8 Tigers.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I'm actually curious to listen back to the Westlife one that's on right now. I just had the notification come up on my phone because yes, I'm subscribed to them. Like that,
I will be listening on my drive to Sydney on Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the diehard Tigers fans are saying, because if a neutral like me was that angry about it, I can't imagine what all you guys were feeling about it. And talking about Tigers fans, have you noticed your headphones are Tigers colours? Is that deliberate? Is something going on here?
It is not deliberate, but I am a fan.
Yeah, like that's such an interesting coincidence. I was looking at it going, wait a minute.
No, I was telling you off air about how I bought them off one of my mates, which was originally for D&D purposes, but here I am streaming with them now, so
it works. So yes, and we'll go to our last serious topic. You had a question, and I think it's been brought up in the chat.
Yeah, how do you feel about the situation with the Eels trainer who ran under the posts as Cleary was taking one of his conversions that he subsequently missed?
Speaking of that as well, AJ's not here. This is the first time he's missed a stream in a while. What's going on? It's a bit upsetting.
He's busy.
F in chat for AJ. Panda fans might not like my answer to this, but I'm not concerned with it, like, in the slightest. I'm not actually too bothered about it. Firstly, swings and roundabouts, we had a worse call go in our favour with the kick out knock on. Which, like I said, I'll be in disbelief about forever. Just how do you miss that? But
yeah, how did they miss that? That is a cardinal sin.
And for a start, kickers are looking at the ball, and I think Cleary's looking at the ball when it happens anyway. But I don't know if if he was doing something deliberate, like waving his arms around and jumping at the post or something, you'd be like, bro, what are you doing? You're being a bit weird.
Then questions should be asked.
Yeah. But this is just a trainer who's like running down along the goal line or whatever and just doing his thing, whatever it might be. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. It seems really minor to me. It just I never felt concerned. I guess the only thing would be you just want to make sure they'll probably do something, maybe just to make sure, not so much to punish that particular trainer for that, but you want to just make sure in future no one pushes the boundary where they're like, let's see how far we can take it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that was my next question. Like, do you think anything is going to come of it? Do you think there will be any fallout?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the only thing, probably not. It seems pretty innocent to me, but if anything does, it's more a case of disincentivizing future trainers from wanting to push the envelope. So like maybe what this guy did wasn't too bad, but maybe a future guy might see, hey, how far can I push that before the NRL, get involved. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Honestly, the media is trying to sound like that Cleary should have got a second chance to take the kick, and that in telling they think the Panthers got rolled, which the whole thing is just silly. Yeah, it is, because well, you look at it, we got that try on the back of field position we should have had from the knock on. So you take them points away from us, and let's say you award that kick. Well, we still don't win the game anyway. So let's say all decisions, let's say the NRL looks at the game and then adjusts the points, kind of like Supercoach does, I guess. Adjust the end points based on those things that happen in the game. We still would have lost. So
and another one for you that I didn't bring up before we started. The Reid Marnie penalty try. How do you feel about that one?
Again, I'm probably unpopular with Penrith fans, but I don't mind that happening. I'm of the opinion if you don't want to concede the points, don't commit the foul play. Mm-hmm. Like, at the end of the day, he did the wrong thing. That is still foul play in one form or another. So whether he got sin binned or they call it a penalty try, that's on the player who committed the foul, not the referee. We shouldn't be blaming the officials for getting that wrong. I'm happy enough to go, well, because a lot of people say, oh, we don't know if he would have scored. I'm happy for them to say, well, you robbed that player of a fair chance to get the try, so we're going to award it to them. I'm happy for that to be the standard. And if there's a reasonable chance they could have scored, which there was, he only ended up like 10 centimeters from the try line. So even if he wouldn't have scored, like if Dylan Edwards, covered a fence and got it, whatever, the fact of the matter is he was very close and it was a try scoring situation and he committed the foul play. So, I would have been happy with either the sin bin or the penalty try. Either way, I think it deserves something because it was still foul play. You can't tackle a player without the ball. It's just, you can't do it. So that's on Salmon.
My issue with it was the wording from the bunker.
Yeah.
I think if you say a try could have been scored, how is that substantial evidence or enough evidence to say that he was definitely going to score? Because if the bunker believes that a try would have been scored, then fair enough. But if they say could, it's, to me, a different story. If they say could, I think that falls under the 10 in the bin category. If they say would,
so you think it should be more definitive that they could have scored?
I believe so, yeah, because he still ended up short of the line. There were still players there. I don't think you can say that he would have scored.
I think what they're saying, what the bunker was getting at there was, if Salmon hadn't have grabbed him, he would have he would have scored the try because he would have had that momentum going towards the try line, and he would have got to the try line quicker, so the defenders wouldn't have stopped him. Because when we saw where he ended up, he was like 30 centimeters from the line, with his momentum being stopped by Salmon before he even got the ball. So I think what the bunker was getting at with that decision was, if he hadn't been caught up early, he would have made up that extra 30 centimeters he needed to score the try. I think that's what they were getting at.
And like, using that logic, I'll go back to Toa's potential try. That's a case where you'd have to say a try could have been scored, which would have meant 10 in the bin.
Yeah, well, the fact of the matter is that had nothing at all and wasn't mentioned by commentary. It was just disgusting. I was so angry about that at the time. And I was a
Bossy
neutral.
Said what he said.
Yeah, and then
Twitter.
he's like, "Oh well, it didn't affect anything."
What was the exact wording he said? I'm going to try and find the exact wording.
You know, I don't have an issue with Bossy. I like, it gets a bit over the top sometimes, but I like to think of him as just an overexcited fan who gets carried away. So I don't mind him so much in commentary. But I thought he was very Manly biased on the day, because I watch on KO. I thought he was definitely very Manly biased that day. It was just constant Trbojevic brothers and how good is this, and oh my god.
Everyone was constantly Trbojevic brothers. Most of the Fox pre-game was about the Trbojevic brothers.
So it
was very clear that there was a narrative there that they wanted the three brothers to do well in this monumentous occasion for them.
Yeah, so just to have that in commentary and then for him to defend that, it's like, look, you're being a bit one-eyed here. You sound like a Manly fan. No problem with that. Just let us know you were just really excited because you like Trbojevic, and we won't mind. You know, we've all defended players we like when they probably didn't deserve defending so much. But as says Alex Swall will score in his 100th. Well, you can hope so, but...
Hashtag try for Twal.
We're still riding that wave. Come on, Twally, you can do it.
It's game 100. It is... Actually, no, this weekend's game 99, I think.
Because if you remember when I think the Westlife did the poll on it, and a lot of people were split between Magic Round and his 100th.
Yeah, I was on the Magic Round bandwagon, but yeah, this is game 99 this weekend for him.
So, yeah, just anything else we need to address? I think that covers it pretty well. I'm happy enough. Like I said, just a quick TLDR. I'm happy enough for whatever they called that, whether it was a sin bin or a penalty try, just whichever. Because the fact of the matter is, it's our player who committed the foul play, and it was really obvious foul play too. Like, it wasn't a 50-50 call, so yeah.
Yep.
He got what he deserved in the end.
Let me just try and... I'm still trying to find this post from Vossi. Or this comment from Vossi, I should say.
That's all right. While you're doing that, now I'll just say my general thoughts on the game. Like I said, I wasn't overly upset by it. It's good to lose one here and there to bring the team back down to earth. And at the same time as well, we lost to a team that played really well. You know, it's not like we're going to walk away from that going, well, we just lost to the wooden spooners and played like garbage, blah, blah, whatever. Like, the Eels showed up with a good attitude and they played really well and they weathered some good football from us. And it was just, you know, a game you walk away
really
from.
Good game.
Yeah. I imagine neutrals probably were really loving that game. Just, it was really hard fought, and Eels fans probably loved it. And there are things in that game even that we can take out of it and go, that was really good. Like, we had 15 minutes in that second half where the Eels just couldn't get off their try line. So, you know, you look at things like that and you go, at least we've got good things about our game. We haven't crumbled or anything or fallen to pieces. We just lost a hard-fought game, and that's what top teams do. We can still, like, those are the games you point to and you go, even in losses, we're still a top team. Yeah.
Did you like my comment in the Discord after that game?
Which one was that?
The Tigers beat Eels by 1, Eels beat Panthers by 2, and then I posted the gif of me running to get grand final tickets.
Well, here's the funny thing is, so the Eels beat Storm and Panthers, you beat the Eels, so I mean, technically you should be top of the ladder right now. We'll have to send an email to the NRL and get this sorted.
Here it is. So Ben Jarman said, paging the at NRL and the bunker, how obvious does one need for a professional foul? Should be 10 in the bin minimum. And then he tagged Reading the Play and Westlife Pod.
Oh, that's how they came into it. Because I thought it was Westlife who did it.
Yeah, Vossi's reply said, didn't take 1 centimetre off Toa.
I disagree, but
and then
anyway.
Westlife said, Seyfarth didn't obstruct the defence when he ran through, but the bunker still denied us the try by the rules. Are we going by rules or going by how the play was affected? Because I'm happy with Turbo's tug if Kepa Oa's try is fine too.
Yeah, which is basically what you were getting at before. We're doing black and white rules for some rulings and gut feeling, common sense rulings, as people like to call it, in other situations, which I don't like it. It's just, you know, then your star players and your favourites are getting the good calls and everyone else gets the black and white rulings.
So the conversation continued here. Westlife then said, he still pulled his shirt and you can't do that. Rules are black and white, aren't they? And that's got the video of him doing it, if you wanted me to send that to you.
What's that, sorry? I was reading the chat.
Yeah. Westlife Pod said, he still pulled his shirt and you can't do that. Rules are black and white, aren't they? And he's got the video there of it happening if you wanted me to send it to you, because I don't think you were able to find it before.
Yeah, I was looking for the video of it and I can only find a low sort of resolution.
I'm in the Cat Bros account, so I'll just
I'll
tag your personal. I'll just
I'll go find it now into the Cat Bros. I'll go have a look because
I mean, I can send it as a DM to you or myself, and then you can see it in the DMs. That makes it a little easier to find instead of having to dig through it.
Yeah, we'll just send it to me then. Old Panther one. Because the image before was really low quality, and chat's probably like, guys, what am I looking at? It's all pixels. Where you find that?
I'll just tag you in it.
No worries.
I'll just comment and tag you on it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Because you can copy the link from the tweet if you know how to do that.
Yeah, I do. I do that a lot.
So just send that to me in the DMs.
I've already tagged you.
Well, I nearly had Aaron slide into my DMs, but anyway.
So I'll keep reading.
Yep.
And Vossi's reply was, yep, and. Westlife said, and why wasn't it a penalty? Vossi says, no idea. Maybe they didn't see it, or maybe they didn't think it deserved one. Westlife said, and officials thought this, quote, unquote, deserved a forward pass ruling, not a try. And they say we, quote, unquote, deserved a penalty for Jackson arguing against it. Sorry, Vossi, the officiating was a effing joke today.
It was terrible. It was ridiculous. But I won't start rambling about that. I'll leave that to the Tigers fans to do. So yeah, it just keeps repeating, but you can see it there. Like he obviously does it. It's as obvious as the one with Ridmani.
It's a jersey grab. That's not a shoulder to shoulder contest.
The rules say you can't do it. NSL. Anyways, lads, got to go now. Got to rest the gas for work tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to be wrapping up soon. We don't want to go too long and whatnot. So we'll have a second video up on Thursday. Thanks for coming, NSL. Love to have you here, especially after you beat me That's especially great.
That the only reason why you came, NSL? Hope to see you back next week.
Yes, we do. We like having people here to chat to. That's what this is all about.
Before we wrap up, how does the chat feel about Magic Round? Ryan and I were talking about it before we went live. How good quality a lot of the matchups this weekend are going to be. You've got first versus second. You've got 5th versus 6th. You've got 7th versus 8th. 9th versus 10th. You've also got 15th versus 16th, which probably won't be great, but it'll be a game.
Yeah, I think there's
one of those teams is going to get their third win and move away from the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, there's only 2 games which are not close together on the ladder, and just for showing its sake, on screen, I've just put up the obstruction still frame. So when he gets the ball, who's the 12 again? Who's the one who did the obstructing? Is it Seyfarth? Okay, yeah,
that's Seyfarth.
As he's catching the ball, Seyfarth is already pretty much going through the defensive line, which I think makes it worse because it's actually physically, humanly impossible for him to impede the defense because he's going past them when the player's got the ball. He's essentially done the right thing as the attacker. Sorry. So they're supposed to run through the line and get out of the way, basically. That's when they say you're supposed to go through the line. The point of that is you're running the decoy to trick them into thinking you're getting the ball and then getting out of the way. And he's done the right thing. He did his job. It was actually, that would be what you would use if you were a coach showing how to run a decoy line. He's gone on the outside shoulder of the defender. This grainy bloke here. Does my cursor show up? No, does my cursor show up? No, well, as you can see, it doesn't show up. So, but I need the old Sterlo draw like yellow lines.
The telestrator.
We miss you, Sterlo. You're one of the best. But so he runs on the outside shoulder and he's through the line. I don't understand how they can call that. Even by the rules, he's very close to not being an obstruction, even under black and white rules. The only thing that gets him is the Tigers player catches it on the inside shoulder of his decoy runner.
But then you compared that to the first try in the Cowboys game, and I'm going to find that one for you as well.
Yeah, find that and get it, and I'll put it up before we go.
So I know Rob definitely...
I'm sure they would have mentioned it because it's pretty. They look almost identical. They're very close, very similar.
Okay, that's only the still footage, not the video.
Panthers Storm, it will be close to Game of the Year, excluding finals.
I was about to say, yeah, Panthers Storm, not Game of the Round, Game of the fucking season.
The only thing that really pisses me off and grinds my gears about it is the Storm injuries, especially like Pappenhausen's going to be out now and Remus Smith and that, so it just sucks they're not going to be at full strength. Like, I don't want to go in and be like, oh, some of their best players are out, like especially Pappenhausen. Like I caught that game up this morning before going out, and just you see that moment and he gets injured and you're just like, oh no, just can I give him a hug and tell him it'll all be okay.
Sent that one to you in the DMs.
Ooh.
It is only the still footage of it, but it's not only the.
Did you send that to me on
obstruction?
Twitter? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, on Twitter.
So
to me, it's not only how the obstruction play happened, but what looked like it could seriously have been a double movement in the scoring of the try as well.
Yeah. All right, so
he has momentum, but he still lifts the arm up and then plants it over the line.
All right, so here is the Cowboys one. Do we still have Liam Cowboys in the chat to give his thoughts on it since it's his team? He might not be still here, but Yeah, this is the target one. So Val Holmes is the one you can see. There's a couple of Cowboys players there. Who do you know who gets called?
Well, no one gets called. No one gets called because the tries awarded.
Yeah, I can't remember if they I watched the game, but I can't remember if they sent it up or not. Did he call it a try straight up?
I
just don't remember the specific moment.
I think so. Let me.
Or were they? Because this is the one obviously where we had the possible double movement which you were talking about. So I think they would have sent it up and checked.
Let me try. I'm just going to quickly pull it up on KO on my phone. So you're probably going to hear it in the background.
But Val Holmes, you've got two, because you've got 3 Cowboys there. So I'm trying to work out who in that situation is just safe Arth equivalent. Because Val Holmes is the furthest forward Cowboy. So I'm going to say he would be the one.
I'm just going to check what time of the match it was.
Yeah.
So it was the second minute. So it's literally the very start of the game.
Because Val Holmes, is the one through the line, so he's the one who you'd be your safe Arth equivalent. Which again, it's the same thing to me, where he's not impeding the defense because he's behind them. They can get past him and get to the guy with the ball. So if that's the case, then I don't think it should matter where he catches the ball. It is, you're not. They don't have to worry about it, but that's just me.
I'm just watching the lead up now.
Yep.
They had a play that went to the other side before it. Number 12, which I think is Nanai, plays the ball. Or that 2 plays before it. Because then they have a play right in front of the posts. The number 10. So it sweeps out to Townsend, out to Dearden. Hang on. So I got distracted by where the ball was. I didn't watch the players. So it was the number 5 and the number 11. So
yeah,
the 5 had gone through further than the 11 had. The 5 was ahead of the 11, and they both ran through.
Yeah. So Rob Bakara, have I pronounced that correctly? I hope I'm not butchering that. Bashara. Okay. I apologize, Rob. Terrible.
Let me just check who
announcing names. He says, so his tweet here, which is up on screen, says, look at Cowboy players run through the line. It's identical to safe Arth in Kapola's no try yesterday. How can the bunker not see Dearden caught the ball inside the shoulder with hindsight of video compounded by a double movement moments later and sent up no try? So yeah, it's that furthest forward Cowboys player he's talking about.
Which is the number 5.
Which is Val Holmes.
No, that was Tuolangi.
Oh, was it?
Holmes was centre, number 3.
Okay, they confuse me moving around all the time.
So it was Tuolangi in the 5 and Tom Gilbert in the 11.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, see, to me it's the same thing, and he makes an absolute perfect point there.
He does indeed.
Penrith and Tigers fans coming together at last. Fences are being mended and bridges are being built as we speak.
Only for the next 2 months until they play each other.
Yes, but until then, this is a moment like the Berlin Wall coming down.
Camaraderie.
Yes, world peace has been achieved. We've solved it. But yeah, I think he's got a perfect point there. Isn't Gilbert going to the Dolphins or something? Honestly, I have no idea at this point. Because they've been rumored with so many people. like mentally, you try to remember. Right, hang on, who's confirmed? Who's a rumor? What's happening? Like it gets a bit like that.
I'm going to pull up the zero tackle signings article where they list all of them.
Yeah.
Player movements. Here we go. Dolphins. 2023 gains. So far they've got Jack Bostock, Jesse Bromwich, Kenny Bromwich, Tom Gilbert, JJ Collins, Harrison Graham, Jermaine Azarko, Ryan Jackson, Robert Jennings, Isaiah Katoa, Felice Kafusi, Mark Nichols, Michael Roberts, Ray Stone, and Valence Tafare, or whatever you'd pronounce that. But yes, so they are getting Tom Gilbert.
Oh, there you go. Confirmed. There you go. All right, have we got anything else we need to touch on before saying goodnight to the good people?
Obviously, we're not doing tipping yet, but your early thoughts on your chances against the Storm, considering they've put on 160 plus points in the last 3 games they've played.
Oh. I think we're a pretty decent chance, especially after losing the game before. The team will have more of that ruthless edge to them again now that they've lost one.
You're going to have to breach the purple wall, though.
Yeah, and Pappenhausen being out, I think, will be a loss. You can't ignore that. He's too good to just discount that injury altogether. And they've lost a centre in Remus Smith as well, so they're going to have to shift their defence around a bit. So I think we've got a decent chance. I would probably say it's in our favour, probably 60-40 or something like that. Nothing too dramatic, like, we're going to smash them by 50 or anything like that, but we've got enough of an advantage now where we can win. Maybe, by...
I'll check the early sports bet odds because I'm curious.
It's up, it's like it was 230 last I saw. Once the injuries happened, it kind of ballooned out a bit.
Yeah, okay, so the Storm at 225, you guys are 165, so you guys are still favourites.
Yeah, and those injuries had a big impact on that. But, so it's one of those, I wouldn't tip 13 plus if I was tipping or anything. They're not going to be pushovers by any means.
Indeed, they will not. They never are.
And your thoughts on your game versus the Cowboys while we're doing that?
I think our chances are all right. They didn't actually play all that great against the Knights, and the Knights haven't really been in good form. They let the Knights score a few points, and with what we showed on Saturday, if we keep it up, we can score some points. I reckon we're in with a decent shot. We've got a stretch of 3 winnable games heading into the bye, and I think we can win all 3 of them. But I'm going to not really go through my tips just yet. I will wait until I've got a bit more info with team lists and everything like that. But
yeah, and that's why the Thursday,
I think we're an all right chance.
Yeah, and that's why we'll do the Thursday, because that gives time for our tipping expert to actually have relevant information. Like, because you get your team list on Tuesdays, and then through the week, different things play out, and coaches move things around, and they update the rosters and do different things. So Thursday,
we aren't actually that bad as outsiders.
No, you shouldn't be after the month you've had has been pretty good. You've played well. You could very well be 3-1. Just for, I think, except for some bad officiating. So
the Cowboys are $1.42. We are $2.88. The team that is the biggest outsider across the weekend is the Raiders, and they're $3.05, while the Sharks are $1.38. Like, that is the game with the widest odds currently. Obviously, this is before team lists, so a few changes may still be made. But given the ladder positions, that is what has made. That's what's going to make this round so close, and I think such good viewing.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Like I said, I think we've only got 2 games that are really dramatically lopsided. Other than that, it's all very close. So looking forward to it.
You've got 5 games with opponents that are next to each other on the ladder. Yeah.
Which is just what of a coincidence is that? We got Magic Round and we've got all these teams that are like right there on the ladder with each other. Like, that is a hell of a thing.
And then you've got 1 game between 2 bottom 8 sides that are 3 positions apart in the Titans and the Dragons. And then you've got the 2 that are between the Cowboys and the Tigers and the Sharks and the Raiders, which are the only 2 games that are between a top 8 and a bottom 8 team.
Yeah, everyone wanted close games.
This is going to be a really good Magic Round, I reckon. Although I've heard that Brisbane are expecting a bucket load of rain, so Not
Yeah.
sure what that's going to mean for the quality of the footy, but this could be a very good, a very close round, and we may see a golden point game or two.
Kind
I
of hope
wouldn't
so.
be surprised if we did.
That'd be good. That'd be really good.
I just hope it's not the Tigers having to win in golden point, because
I don't think Aaron's
we are
heart
not very
could
good at
deal.
golden point.
Yeah, I don't think Aaron's heart could deal with any more of those close wins.
Yeah, our golden point record is poor at best, and then I had enough 1 point wins
remember
the 2 weeks where they happened in a row.
Yeah, remember AJ on the last tipping video tipping you guys by 1? We both agreed that he's trying to kill Aaron.
And I'm just like, no.
AJ, you've been missed. Well, we might leave it there, and then we'll catch you guys on Thursday for our tipping. It's been fun. It's been good. Touched on a few serious topics. Panthers fans probably disliked me a bit after that because I didn't go full one-eyed Panthers fan on it. But yeah, I am definitely of the opinion if you don't want to get done in, don't commit the foul play. As simple as that. And as far as the Eels trainer go, as I said, it's not that bad. But you do have to be mindful in future. You don't want people pushing the envelope either. But yeah, from what it was,
you've got people who are trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah, exactly. And considering there was a worse call earlier in the game, it's that swings and roundabouts. It evens up.
Sometimes.
All right, yeah, sometimes.
It doesn't when you're the Tigers and Tom Trebojevic is allowed to do what he pleases. But anyway.
Yeah, but he's a special case.
Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We should start saying this as well. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know that when we go live.
Yes, do that because it actually tells you. It lets you know.
Leave the likes, leave the comments. We will actively reply to comments, whether they be from our personal accounts or from this one. And looking forward to what will hopefully be a magic round.
Yes, hopefully. Good night, all, and thank you for coming. We appreciate everyone being here.